So in case you have any doubts or questions or anything, I will be checking it probably and answering it. We have basically 3 days React webinar session. In React webinar, I will be covering the why React, design patterns, components, ES6, building UI, React component, JS, some more of a React components, classes, state and props, static variables, state. I'm showing you the working examples, some hands-on practice around, and then making a quick project and show it how it goes with. Further, it goes to the routing, API, local database security, and some sort of a brief testing around it. So also I'm giving you a quick brief about myself. I'm basically into development and largely into training and consulting assignments. My name is Vivek Singhal, and I'm conducted, I think, more than 300 plus trainings widely, including US, Australia, and Dubai, Middle East, mostly online virtual sessions, as well as it includes few of the sessions, which includes classroom sessions. So let's start with the basic stuff. For your ease, I'm creating a project here. Call it say React. We'll be using this same. And as an editor, I'm taking this. Let me take this. Workspace React. Should open, right? Okay, let me open like this. Have some content over here. So I'm just putting all things here and yeah. Creating a very new file. So do it here. React is basically, if you see all around, there's a lot of technologies and a lot of single page applications. When we are talking about single page, means SPA, single page application. On single page application started with the era of starting with the file day1.txt. So the first major single page application which becomes success is Gmail. Gmail is basically more initial versions are more around with Google Web Toolkit. And later on, single page application evolved and we come across HTML5 standards. And very recently we started having things like React, Angular. Angular comes first further with basic Angular 1, which has a controller and MVC kind of a structure. Now think about the React has changed the world the way the programming happens. If I'm creating a new file and showing you a simple hello world, so this is the how we created a simple application with div hello world. Simple HTML, nothing great. Let me do further. I'm creating a form. I'm creating the input boxes. Another input box. Type button. I can give a value. Login. Going there. Under this. Opening it up. This is our hello application. Plain HTML, no React so far. Now think about, had it been HTML come up with an API, like Java when come as a language, they come up with an API, right? So when they said Java come up with an API, what kind of API? In Java, you have an option to create classes, to place further classes and use around it, right? The HTML when started in the beginning, there was no intention to make it a browser doesn't have an intention to come up with a application kind of thing. It is more around how they make it a HTML. It is like HTML reader. It's a page viewer initially, right? Think about if it is basically targeted to create for programmers to create APIs, then what would be the case? If browser evolved or started with the intention to create an API, then what sort of API it could be? Now, like a class for Java, we can have an option to create our own tags. Rather than form, I can call it a user. I can call it a user and think about I'm using my programming, and with user I'm able to show something which shows user. As of now, it doesn't do much here. It doesn't reflect anything. It's not, this is not program, this is not available. This is a missing piece in HTML or in API in browser. And this is the missing link what React is trying to fulfill. So React is JS is a library which is component based. Component based means for creation of component. So that means I can create a custom tags like this. These custom tags are called components. So React.js is a library that basically provides us a way, sort of an API, sort of a way to create a components with basic simple idea to have these components to create. These components can be created with first it can be created with functional component, and we can create a class component as well. Obviously there is much more to it. These components would like to talk to each other, so there is a framework around is how they can talk to each other. So they will talk to each other through argument passing, which is called argument, and we will have a params. We can have a basically we can have a nested component, scaling component, component with routing, and this is all about this. So the design pattern here is called component based. So rather than we are dividing our application in MVC, we are dividing the major view into separation. The separation happens that we are creating a, if you are familiar with Angular 1 version or Backbone or any other, we have divided the code into HTML plus CSS plus controller. That controller is where we are talking about the JS. This is how the whole thing. But if we are dividing into this one view, then think about in Facebook, we will have the only 3 files. One is HTML, one is CSS, and one is all to do, and it become huge messy. If we are talking about a single page application, like which is a very big single page which can be keep scrolling, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and as we are scroll down we are getting the data, and we are getting the new GUI, we are getting the new stuff like images, blogs, content, events, and these events are basically having their own content and showing things. So this is not possible with the simple MVC, and we have a way where we can even design the one single long page, and that is what we are talking about. That can be done with component based pattern. That means we are creating a one big code, and in that one big code we are putting things together. So does this make sense, guys? Let me quickly check the your where are. Is there any questions? Yeah, I can. If you have any questions, then let me know. So can you see my chat message? Is this available to all of you? Am I audible? Skill Upright, are you there?
Yes, sir, you are audible only.
Yeah.
But
we don't have any.
But your screen is not visible, sir.
Yeah, screen I have put it off for a while.
Okay.
Okay, I will be sharing it again. Give me a second. I'm sharing my screen in a while. But first here, I'm sharing my screen. I'm creating a hello world example now. So create do a quick start now. So I'm basically doing two things, like creating a very hello world example is straightforward. I can use a simple tool to create a hello world example. So I'm doing it on my screen for you. It's a hello react. We'll taking a quick span of time to understand how it is. So this is the command. You can take the note if you want.
Your screen is too small, sir. Can you please zoom in?
My screen is too small. I think I don't know how to zoom it as such. So it's a characters. Is this what they are looking for? Is this better now?
Yeah, this is better now.
Okay, thank you. Just to create a quickly template. So this is the command which you can take it for you. npx react native hello react. Once you have it here, I can go to the hello react and do yarn start. I have it my hello world example. Let me check. Some example we have it. Let's do the quick understanding for this. This example is basically this, and we have refreshed this. We go there, right? We have src, and this is our hello index.html on the public. Hello React. We are having a dev root, so everything, the whole React tab is sitting on the top of this dev root. If I remove this, I don't get anything here, or it says the target container is not a DOM. It's basically retrieving the control from here, and you can see here we are putting the app. React strict mode, and we have an app. App is our first component. This is a very functional component we have. Changing it quickly to a simple hello world. So I can do h3 and put it hello world. Let's see what I have here. So we have to put h3 small. It doesn't want caps. Yeah, hello world here. Now we are basically doing nothing. We are basically creating a simple function, which is basically internally using the React library. And based on this library, we are basically calling this. So if I go to the let's create one more component here. I'm creating one more quick component, copying it and call it user.js, pasting it here, naming it more align and saying it user and user. Just remove it. I don't need it. This is my hello world, hello user. I'm okay. I don't need this either, since I have already removed. So if I go to the app.js, nothing, import user. So import user from user. I'm just using this user. You can see if I'm doing it twice, showing it to you, Chrome. Hello user, hello user. Simple component. This is pure functional component, no class component coming it here. Now think about if I would like to pass any argument on it. So I'm passing it as a name. This goes here, name. And under here, I can pass simply name. It should be same as I'm passing here, Vivek. Second one could be name, Amit. Saving it, coming to the Chrome. Hello Vivek, hello Amit. What we have created a simple component which is plain function and passing the argument which we are talking back or showing back, and I'm reusing it twice. I can reuse it as many times. So in this case, the functionality is simple, right? In real application, the functionality is basically much bigger, and we are basically passing more around it, and we are basically making a full-fledged app to this Smita. So similarly, let's create a function with class. So I can go here. Currently it is default export. So rather than default export, let's do this. Is my code visible?
Can you please increase your screen size?
Yeah, I just increase it. It just makes sense. As I soon do it with the export directly rather than default, here we have, I can handle it like this. Change it to something like this. Let's see what we have on the Chrome. We still have app working. Same. Removing all these things. So let's create another component. So I'm creating user f export. So I want to do export and class user c. C indicate class and it does extends react dot component. I'm now writing it down with a component based. So in component, if I would like to do, I can do with render, and render will do the return. Now this will do in the render. So this is a same thing. So user functional, and I'm making it user class. This is obviously not available here. Here we can call this dot props dot name. Now this is export with this. I have to come back here. An app. User C. Simple user C. Name Rama. So we have now function component as well as the class component. Going back to the view, username, user function class. So let me check where it is going. Class. So we have both the versions available. We have two versions of component. One is class component. And one is function component. Now think about, as we scale, our application become bigger and bigger, and there is a lot of programming things around it. Now there could be a way we would like to use, for example, nested apps. Now I can have and basically connected, and this is called binding. So now it's similar to this binding. We can have a binding with the button. So I'm adding a button. On button I can say add user. I'm simply doing on click here. This is simple binding, which is binded from the one way, from the controller or from the class to the GUI. Now here also, if this second binding is the event binding when I'm doing this. So I can do here where add user. Doing it with the arrow functions. So I can simply do alert, add user called. Same thing if I would like to do, I can do this here. So in this case, I have to call this. And in this case, we have to just put this, and we have to put button also. we have to put this dot add user. Click works smoothly. Now think about if we scale the app further and scale it up. Now similarly, I can take another quick example for you to get you more understanding how we scale it up. So let me do it quickly for taking the simple timer in. Now we have done quickly understand the very basic concept around the, this is simple functional component. We have done another functional component, there's timer, we do have timer class also. So when we are talking about timer, let's see and run it, what it is coming with here. So if I do this, I do have import timer, so I can import from timer.js and I can do here timer C and I can do a timer F. Let's understand what timer is. So if I'm adding a timer here, as we scale the application, we may soon come across that there is a going to be a further things in class. So props is something, the property coming from the parent. So in this case, when we are talking about parent, what is the architect layer? Architect layer is basically taking us just a minute, looks like hanging here. So we have it. So our mother is HTML here. HTML is basically calling the or invoking the index.js. Index.js then, so if you go here, let's see, this is our this. Here it is invoking this index.js. Index.js is basically creating and adding the app. So app is our main, or I would say mother component. So we have app is mother component. So current architecture is we have app. Under the app we have timer, or we have similarly in this level we have user, could be user app and all. Now if I go back and check the code, timer C and also once I added this timer C, let's see how it looks like. So this is our app now. We have some timer running. It's keep running, it's keep updating. Stop is implemented, stopping, reset to 0, and it did start again. This has to deal with the state. So far props is something which is passed from the parent. So in this example, when we are talking about props, so app is basically passing user like this, and it is putting the name. We call name equals to ABC, which is basically passing it. This is called props as we have implemented. But if something is changing and happening inside the component itself, then it is better to or it is basically called state, like we call state of some component. When I said state is basically the internal variables, which is basically has to do with the based on the class invoke and then change. So it is a variable which has to be internal to the components, not passed from the parent. Going and seeing the code again, we have taken a state here. This is props state, and we are initializing this in the constructor, and we are initializing the timer in component did mount, like start timer. This start timer is basically trigger the interval, and it is basically updating the timer in every 1 second state. So if you look into the code perspective, so the class has some lifecycle methods. These lifecycle methods are like this. Class component has lifecycle methods. Like you have the life cycle as you aware in the class Java and other things. Similarly, we do have a life cycle methods here. And here we do have a constructor. Apart from the constructor, we have a event or the hook when component is going to be added onto the parent. Actually, it is going to be added to the parent. So before addition, so it is basically component will mount. Mount. We do have, once component is mounted like successfully, we do have another hook that is called component did mount. We have another method which is render, is basically doing rendering. That is the event which is basically calling when we are mounting and we are placing the DOM GUI onto this. Every time we are basically updating the state, this render will call. Basically, it is updating the copy which is in the browser. We have on props received. CI received on props updated means property which is passed from there is got updated. Similarly, we have component will unmount means component is going to be removed. Similarly, we have component did unmount means component is actually removed. So this is the key here. So everything, so at this moment component is ready. Anything we have to do with the component like updating the GUI, anything has to be done at this level. Similarly, another level is this component will unmount. Anything we would like to handle it before component is going to be removed, we can do this. Component is available and removal can be happening. Now looking back to our code as pointed it out, we have timer. We are basically having constructor, we are initializing the state. So any variable, any GUI which is going to be changed based on some event has to be handled with the state. The reason it is handled with the state, because state means it is a state of internal. What is the current state? Like, so if any variable changes, it has to be pushed back to the GUI. So now we are basically having a component mount. We are initializing the timer. So as we are doing this, in the time initialize, we are passing the set interval and this tick. That means this tick is the function which is going to be called in every 1 second. So this is the function which is going to call. It is a so what it is does is basically updating the state in every 1 second, right? It is updating the state in every 1 second. So suppose we are updating the state and we have not done set state, or neither we have done update force. Then what will happen? It does update the state. State is updated, but the GUI doesn't update it. So the GUI update happen only when you basically do set state. Set state is the event which actually does this. So this is the right way of doing it. Is basically we can have a seconds, and I can also do something like this. So set state is a function which takes the argument. This argument could be an object, or this argument could be a function. If it is a function, then return type of this must be a object which is basically updating it. So I'm basically doing previous value, and I do return under the seconds. I'm doing the previous value. Previous value means previous state dot seconds plus 1. So this will update the state. So this works. Another way of doing the state management is that we can call this, rather than this, we can just do set state. So set state is the method which can take direct object also, it can take function also. It can do seconds, and I can do the current seconds plus 1. I'm keep updating the previous one. Another way of doing it is that if I just update this guy, and I don't want to call set state, in some reason we would like to do with super state, we can handle it with this. Now how we have implemented the stop state, as soon as I do stop timer stop, this stops it. So stop timer is doing nothing, it is just clearing the interval. Similarly, as soon as I do start, it is basically starting from the same number, starting the interval again. And if I would like to clear the interval, I can do the clear interval. Stop, or I can reset. We have 3 functionalities, so we have introduced you to basically very basic concepts around it. So we have this is called a component. Components are nothing but a custom tags in HTML. They have things passed from the parent, which is basically here name. I can have it a name like Vivek. This is called props dot name. Now think about, I can have a component like this user, and I have something passing to users with this. Then if anything passes in between, for example dev Rama, and we have dev, and this part is called children. So props.children is this. I can have it multiple attributes passing it. I can have pass like this. Or I can pass this. Then we are basically received like this. So props.children is equal to this. Name, and I do this. Now when I'm talking about this is equivalent to this. This is called JSX. What is JSX? So if I show you here, coming to my code again. So I'm coming to the simple content here. Go to the user. I can have something here. Var heading. And H4 or H3 and user app. So, and here in our application, I'm using this habit heading. Let's see the output. If I go to the, you can see the heading. User app. So I have user app. User app 1, 2, 3. User app 1, 2, 3. If I try to copy this and put it on directly here, what do you think? Will it work? Let me try it out. Doesn't work. So what is it? So we have a types in JavaScript. These types includes number, string, object, function, undefined, and boolean. Mostly these are the key 6 in the whole JavaScript. Now this doesn't fit here. This is basically called JSX. JSX means HTML in JavaScript. HTML in JavaScript is not supported by default. It is basically supported with React. So React has a basically ability, or we have a JSX library which can be taken independently and can be used. This JSX library means we are taking the HTML as a part of JavaScript. Why we have taken it? So React strongly believes this. React, as you are familiar with Java or any other language, we have a classes and we can copy paste these classes and as easy to use. Similarly, the concept here is React component. So React component is a single unit and is the building block of React application. And Facebook team or the React team strongly believes that these components which has to do with their HTML and the corresponding class or corresponding code which could be in class or function, plus could be CSS, must be provided in one file. Because they have a intimate relationship, means that particular code is meant for that particular HTML to run. and this unit can be further reused as or when the required tag is used. For example, I can use user multiple times. The whole concept is around it. Now think about in a large application without React and old times. We are basically having a huge chunk of JS files and we have a huge chunk of HTML files. These HTML files are corresponding here and there. And the developer who is basically looking forward one functionality in HTML has to every time figure it out, 2-3 files here and there, and figure it out what is the corresponding code associated with the controller. So this can be now managed very well. So with the Facebook team strongly believes that the code, HTML and this, to manage this in one file. So one option is them to do it with HTML. Had they do HTML becoming difficult for the compiler to take and understand it. So they opt for it to do it with JavaScript. So also with JavaScript doing it is basically JavaScript also checks while doing the compilation and validate whether the JS is properly or not. For example, if I remove something here, you can see I will get error instantly. It is checking the corresponding this error, and because it just identified that this guy is not properly closed. So it's all about having the JSX, having the component, and then building it with props and states inside it. As we scale it up tomorrow, I will be taking the nesting components where I will be taking one component and another component inside. Also, I will be doing with the functional components and taking you the advanced functional components, introducing you to hooks. So in the first day, I'm introducing you more about the class components. So this is the timer we have, and in the timer I'm introducing with the class components here. So you can probably, if you would like to take, you can take a screenshot of it. So this is the so let me do this. So I don't know if it is making sense. So this is the code hold. So we are making a simple class. We are basing it with tick updating. We have a constructor. We have a reset timer, stop timer, start timer, component did mount, the method which is basically in start the timer, the component on mount which we are basically removing it. We have simple GUI, simple state and counting it with 1, 2, 3. I hope this helps you to understand the fundamentals of very basic React and why React, and getting this with the simple functional component, props, as well as the class component with props and states. Tomorrow I will be taking you to the functional components. I will be getting you familiar with the hooks, which is corresponding to the life cycle of the class components, getting you clear, making a simple timer example, having it add stop, start, state, and modify. Later on, day after tomorrow itself, I will be getting you familiar with the nesting of components, where we will have one component and another component is wrapping it up, and it is basically passing with the records. These records are basically to do with the application, which is basically putting records. So let me quickly show you what I'm planning for tomorrow. So I'm basically will be doing it. So customer React we have here. So tomorrow I will be taking you with this simple application. Think about this. So we have a record we have been adding here. I'm adding a record here. I can do the delete. I can do the edit. update. It does update. It is basically a, you can see it is a responsive design. So we will have this tomorrow. We'll get you familiar. This is a nested component. So it is again app. Under the app, we have customer app, and we have a full component which has two options. One is this, and second is the listing. Day after tomorrow, we'll be taking you to the routing and get you familiar with the overall simple application in React. That's all, guys, from my side. Let me quickly check if you have any questions. I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, in the starting, I covered the setup. So if you see the setup, this is the setup. If you check. This is the setup. So this is the class. I'm just sharing it with you. This is the setup. So I'm sharing it with everyone. So I hope you are receiving it. Guys, are you receiving it? Okay, yes. So I have, so what is the single page application? How it is? So single page application is basically differ from JSP. JSP is the legacy application, which has most of the code generated from the server side. When we are talking about single page application, it is the application which is generated from the whole view is from JavaScript. So it's not a server side, it's a application created in either lot of JavaScript plain, or either it could be with the Angular. All Angular apps are single page, as well as React application. So whole generation of app full together is only on the client side, and it asks for the server just for the data. Usually this data can be served through REST APIs. So I hope Muthu, this answers your question. So I'm just checking out quickly the question. So React is basically the way to handle the complex application and make the component or the tag reusable. So we use React, Nikhil. So think about if before we have this custom tag concept, we have to basically dividing it into controller and view and all. We are having a more complicated process. So now having a very tag means we can directly use it into the HTML, and that is called declarative UI. So more of a, if you get time, so or we are basically taking things to a declarative UI. So you can check on declarative UI, and this is what we are moving with time, declarative UI. I'm checking quickly what are the questions. Okay. So the software we use for this, we need a node. So if you are talking about the setup, so what you need is a node. So in the setup, you need effectively, I think I missed it, you need the node. So I'm using a node version 14, I guess. So if you check here, a node setup. So you need node for React. So only then the command that I showed you will work. So node is the one you need to download. So for the setup, you need to download this. So I'm using the software for typing this program. I'm using Sublime Text, or you can use VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So Angular and React, there is a difference. The difference is simply the I got like question from the Angular and this. So Angular, we have a difference. So Angular is initial version of Angular 1 doesn't have a component base. It is with MVC, and the second version of Angular does has component based. Angular doesn't think about JSX. Angular says that we have three types of things, which is JavaScript, which is plain code, and we have a separation in terms of HTML, and we do have a separation in terms of CSS. So they kept three things separately. They usually kept it in one single folder, while React strongly believes that they have to be kept in a single file itself, and they introduces JSX. The both of them are component based approach. The Angular going way ahead and say that we are not only the library, we will also provide a way how to inject services and all, while React kept it open that you can use the standard JS standards with ES6 and all. You can create your own services, blah blah blah. Yeah, Murli, there is no option to speak. Sorry, since we have more than 200 plus participants, so if we make it speak, then it will be difficult. I'm just browsing all through your questions. So in terms of design pattern, Angular and React both are using the component design. The only difference is React is JSX based, and it does has the code remains in one file strongly, while in Angular, each component can be usually divided into multiple files. You have a separate HTML referred to it, and you have separate JS code, and combinedly they can create and make one component. Okay, any other questions? Are we good? Okay, I think we are good. So component will unmount is basically deprecated. So, but there is similar component function introduced, which is safe use. So it is deprecated because we should not write anything on the component will unmount, because it is anyways, if it is component will unmount is not deprecated. Component did unmount is deprecated. Similarly, component will mount is deprecated. Component will mount is basically, it's very specific if there is any use case. The props.children we will be using in composition. So we'll be using in composition. Used in composition model. Just while doing things, it is difficult for me. Can you use JSX import? So I think JSX I have already, we can use JSX by using import of this React. Okay, I think yes. Not sure what does it mean. Okay, I think we have done. Anything, guys? And then recently we don't have questions. Okay, thank you, guys. Let's connect tomorrow. Okay, Vinay, do you think we are slow? Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll probably try out to be more fast. Thank you. Bye-bye. Let's connect tomorrow. Thanks for your time.